I was just being optimistic. Welcome back, guys, to Moosa Reacts. Let's talk about 7 things that we learnt from the Wolves game, our first game of the season. Due to what happened to pre-season, guys, I already wasn't, too confident going into the game because, like I said, pre-season was up and down. I was just being optimistic, but from what I saw from the game, there was so many. I could have picked out 20 things, but I picked out 7 things that I thought were important. So let's just get it underway. Let's start the show. But don't forget to like and to subscribe and to leave a comment at the end. Okay, let's go, guys. So the first thing is the most shots we've had from an away side since 2005. We were just getting peppered and peppered and peppered, and I kind of felt sorry for Casemiro and Martinez. The defense was just under pressure. They just kept on running through the midfield. And, take my hat off to Onana. He had a great, first game. A load of shots saved, ball playing, doing a lot, doing his job to the best of his ability. But again, guys, there was just no protection for the back four or the goalkeeper. And we were just lucky not to concede. A better team would have finished us off. And that's one of the things that I didn't want to see this season again. Because if we were playing like a Liverpool that was well up for it, because they're playing that derby against Man United and Man City, they put us to the sword in the first half. 4-0, 3-0, no coming back. So for me, that was just drastic to see in our first game of the season that Wolves were more on it than we were. Like, madness. Or the second thing that I would like to point out that I saw, Wolves were just quicker, fitter than Man United. How the heck were Wolves quicker and fitter than us? Why were they all over us? Martinez was just under pressure. Him and Bruno and Mount, couldn't keep anything. Especially Bruno and Mount. They weren't retaining the ball. Casemiro had to work harder. Martinez was like off a step in terms of, the pressure that he was getting from their forwards and their midfield. A silly challenge that he made that ended up getting him the yellow card, and he had to come off because I could see him doing it again, and if we went down to 10 men, we were definitely going to lose that game. But I just didn't understand after that pre-season and after, Gary O'Neill only just coming in at Wolves, why they were quicker and faster than us, after the pre-season that we had with Erik ten Hag, and the fact that he had them the season before, and they know the levels that you need to have to be a Man United player. Why were Wolves, after 3 or 4, training sessions with a new manager, more at it than us? And they were away. We were the home team, and you wouldn't have thought that just looking at, what was going on, and like just so much was going on. But I just didn't get why they were quicker and fitter than us. The third thing is the midfield is exposed. Mount and Bruno are not helping Casemiro enough. They're not helping Casemiro enough. Both of them are going and leaving him on his own. We saw that last season Casemiro can be more forward and can score goals and assists. So sometimes Casemiro, due to the build-up in the play, has to go forward. But when he goes forward, one of them have to sit. One of them have to fall back and to make sure that they cover his position. But when they're both up there and they're not coming back or they're not retaining the ball, they just was not helping Casemiro at all. And Casemiro found himself, just found himself in no man's land. And again, if this continues to happen, Casemiro is going to have a load of red cards because he's having these last-ditch challenges to try to stop the opposition play because he's not getting that support from midfield. We cannot allow Casemiro to not have support from either Bruno or Mount. One of them have to sit back. We can't have both of them going forward. And this Mount thing, I told you guys from the beginning, especially on the Mandem show, but a lot of people thought I was just overreacting. But this Mount thing, like Jose Mourinho says, if I speak, I am in big trouble. The fourth thing, guys, that I want to pull up is that we're still counter-attack FC. Why are we still, a year on, counter-attack FC? When I said to everybody that I'm going to be on Ten Hag watch this season and I'm watching him very closely, everyone said I'm overreacting. But I'm saying no, because every time we get a manager in at Man United and they're known for playing a certain style of football, it's like the job's too big for them. It's like the occasion gets to them. It's like the, at Old Trafford, the atmosphere, the club, how big it is, it gets to them and they stop doing the things that they were known for and the things that are good at. I'm here to support Erik ten Hag and I do believe he's the right manager, but he needs to stick to his principles and he needs to stick to his way of playing. Yes, we might not win the league. Yes, we might not win as many trophies as we want, but we're not going to accept it if we're playing a brand of football that doesn't even show us that this is Man United. We're not going to accept that brand of football. So I think Erik ten Hag has to be very careful. He's already spent £400 million. This is his Man United team now. He needs to start to implement his style of play, win, lose or draw. The fans want to see a better brand of football. We can't continue to be counter-attack FC. We've been counter-attack FC for so many years now and the fan base is tired of it. Something has to give. The fifth thing, guys, I want to pull up is Garnacho. What are we going to do about Garnacho? I get it. Everybody is the wonder kid. He's the new thing now. Everyone's like, he's better than Sancho. But he's not. He's really not better than Sancho. I'm telling you guys from the beginning, Sancho has to start. Sancho has shown us in Champions League against Barcelona, against Real Madrid, against Bayern Munich, against some of the biggest teams in world football that he can play at that level. And he's done it week in, week out. Yes, he might not have shown it at Man United as much as we want, but he has the attributes and he has the ability to do that. And every time, and Sancho's been one of our better players in pre-season and even in the game when he came on, I think he helped change the game. Sancho has to start. Garnacho has the time. He's a young player. He's better off coming off the bench. I believe we need to start, Sancho, and we just need to stop hyping Garnacho to the point where we think he has to start. He's a better impact player at this given time. He's a young player. Let him watch the game. Let the manager tell him what he can come and take advantage on once he comes off the bench. But starting the game, it's not working. And the sixth thing, guys, that I want to pull up, and this is no disrespect to Onana, but how much difference did it make us having Onana in the sticks, in the first game of the season to when it was David De Gea? And what do I mean by that? If Onana is playing out to our defence, who are not comfortable, even receiving the ball, then he's going to end up going long. There was so many times Onana was going long, pinging it. And yes, his passing long is better than De Gea's, but we didn't bring him in to do what De Gea was doing. Pinging it long. We need him to be able to play short passes with with the defence, and then they need to be, pushing the ball on, giving it to Casemiro and taking it into midfield. And so many times he kept on giving it to Wan-Bissaka, they were giving it back, giving it to Varane, giving it back. Martinez, and we say he's the best passer in splitting lines, he was giving it back. And Luke Shaw, guys, if I speak on Luke Shaw, then I don't know, man, they're going to shut my channel down, because I told the guys and they were saying Luke Shaw is world class, he's the best, left back in the world. I don't see it. But it is what it is. But I didn't see in the first game that the fact that we had a ball playing, goalkeeper, it made such a big difference. Because I kept on telling everyone, yes, I wanted to get rid of David De Gea, but I think what we needed to do this season was to get a world-class number 6 to cover for Casemiro. Not an 8/10 in Mount, not a new goalkeeper. We needed a striker and a top-class midfielder, a Caicedo, that type of ilk in the middle of the park with something like a Harry Kane. That's where I wanted the money to go. Then if we have money, go and sort out the goalkeeper, then go and sort out this position. But they were my top two. And I'm just seeing, anyway, I just don't want to keep on going on about it, but I just didn't see the big difference that it made. And I just feel like if we're going to have Onana in the sticks, the players have to start to be more comfortable so we can get a better play of football with them being more comfortable actually receiving the ball. The guys were just shook. They just they didn't want the ball, and he kept on having to play long, and that's not what we bought him for. Number 7, guys, and the last thing is the striker position is still a problem. Marcus Rashford, as much as he tries his best, the problem is, and I don't even know if it's Marcus Rashford, but the number 9 position is still the graveyard shift. It's a graveyard shift. It doesn't get the service it needs. It doesn't get the crosses into the box. And it's still a problem. Is, Højlund going to make a big difference? I don't know. Martial, when he plays, we do see a big difference. He holds up the ball. But still, the strikers are, they're living off scraps. The midfield is a massive problem. And I think the problem is that we don't have a ball-playing midfielder. We went for a number 8 who can play a 10 rather than a 6 that can play an 8. And I think that's the biggest problem. We need a ball-playing midfielder that can connect the midfield and the attack. And if we don't sort this out, we're going to have problems. There's a few players that are still available that we can go and get, that are good carriers of the ball and can make a difference to this team. But because of that, the striker position is still a problem. I don't know how we're going to solve this issue with the striker position, but it looks like we're going to have to start Jadon Sancho against Spurs in our next game in the false 9 position and put Rashford on the left and put Garnacho on the bench. I just don't think it's going to work. I think I'll prefer we start with Rashford, Garnacho and Antony and let them be more fluent and letting Garnacho come off the bench. But I think we're going to have to start with Sancho, Rashford on the left, Antony on the right, and then Garnacho and Palestri on the bench. I don't know what you think, guys, but that's my, Let's Talk 7 for this week from the Wolves game. If you agree, let me know in the comments. If you disagree, still let me know in the comments. Make sure to like and subscribe. I'll see you after the Tottenham game. Hopefully we can get 3 points. We need these points, guys. We can't afford not to be taking 6 from our first 2 games. We know it's going to be a long season, and we just need these points, man. See you after the Tottenham game.